All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fans Discussions considering our retro pay-per-view series. This is going to be WCW Starrcade 1990. I'm your host,
Collision
Mike.
course.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the headline, Collision Course. This is the end of Pizza Hut.
Yes. This is one of
Yeah.
Jim Herd's last.
Yeah, he leaves not too long after this. So it's Ole's the booker and Herd is in charge. So
Yep. December
let's get
16th,
into it.
1990, from St. Louis, Missouri. This was kind of a special thing for Jim Herd and WCW and NWA. Reason why is on August 16th of that year, legendary wrestler Pat O'Connor had passed away. He was a former NWA world champion. He won his title in that very arena in 1959. He was also known as being one of the great bookers in the Kansas City territories. So, in honor of his memory at Starrcade, they did a Pat O'Connor Memorial International Cup tag team tournament. A little too big on the name there.
Yeah.
A single elimination tournament between 8 tag teams, each from different countries.
And
Now,
they
what's
would
funny? What's funny? What? Go ahead.
the winner would be the champion of the universe.
Yeah,
Of the universe.
that's what they said in the beginning. And then at the end, when the match happened, they said, and I quote, international tag team champions.
Yeah, I don't
But in
know.
the beginning, they're the
The
champions
channel
of the
of the universe, not
universe,
the world.
not the world.
The universe.
So they go to Mars, they're
Right, they
the
gotta
champions.
defend. Yeah, they gotta.
They got to
Jesus.
defend the titles.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Exactly.
Um, at least the presentation I thought looked a little bit better
Yes. And I
than
and I,
the
I
previous
like
one.
the concept that they did honoring Pat O'Connor for this. Unfortunately, when you look at the bracket and the teams that are in it, you got to look at it and go, "You serious?"
Yeah,
Because it's a bunch of I'll use the name jabronis
from what I
and the
understand,
Steiner brothers.
yeah, from what I understand, they were trying to be Herd was about, being real and authentic. So he actually got guys from those places, which is
Yeah.
why the talent level isn't what it should have been.
Well, two of them were actually on the WCW roster at the
Yeah,
time. Norman Smiley, who everybody will remember him later on in the
yeah,
hardcore division, and gentleman Chris Adams.
yeah.
Mr. Saito is a former tag team champion on his own right in other companies. Um, you had Rey Mysterio, who was not the father of Mysterio now, but he was actually the uncle and
Exactly.
the grand uncle of Dominic
Yeah.
Mysterio.
hmm
And of course, you had Conan,
hmm
a young Conan right now, being his tag team partner. So
The
you had some talent
yeah,
there,
the shame of it is that Conan got injured right before this. He messed up his knee really badly, but
and Mysterio did too in their
he said
match too.
he
So
said
they're
he
both
had
of
it,
them are
so he went into that damage, but he knew this was a big opportunity for him, so he had to do it.
to see, yeah, to show what he can do. And a couple of
Conan was
years
pretty
later,
big back.
they
He
would
was
get
pretty
him.
big back then too. I think he was
Yeah.
probably on something. He's probably on something.
And then, of course, you look at Rey Mysterio, the Uncle
Yeah,
Mysterio, and you look at Little Ray and go, what happened?
yeah.
But everybody always thought back then that that was his father. No, it's
No,
his
yeah.
uncle.
Well, because of the name.
The name, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because they used to
Mm.
say Rey Mysterio Jr.
Junior. Yeah.
when Ray came out. So in any event, let's they honored Sam Muchnick before this, which I thought was pretty cool. Sam Muchnick was another wrestler, booker, legend of his time. So I thought that was nice of them. You had Jim Ross and Paulie Dangerously on commentary, which I love.
Yeah. I think
Especially
it's. I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, 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 go ahead.
This is when Shivani left for like 2 seconds. He had a cup of coffee in WWF, right? I think around this time.
He had just got back.
Oh yeah, just came back. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he was
Yeah.
there from like '89 to the beginning of '90.
Okay. Because he does
Maybe
the
the
Royal
summer.
Rumble. He does Royal Rumble 90, right? That's him on the
Yeah.
commentary. Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, couldn't stand him. So the opening match it wasn't the tournament. It was beautiful Bobby Eaton versus the Z Man, and the Z Man riding a 35 match
Right.
winning streak going into this match.
And this is Bobby Eaton's like solo pay-per-view debut as
Yeah,
a
this was his
solo as a
very
single
first.
star because his partner had left and Cornette had left right before this.
hmm
Did you notice they put on the stats on this pay-per-view?
Yeah, the Starrcade stats. I
The
didn't
Starrcade
understand it.
stats. It's a little silly.
It was, yeah, exactly. Especially, I never understood, and AEW does it now. How they would show the top 10 ranking of all the wrestlers. Yet anytime you were number two, you would never get in a title shot. Which is why Lex Luger has been United States champion forever
Yeah.
because they didn't want him getting. And the U.S. champion was always supposed to be the number one contender, but
Yeah.
he rarely got a title shot. So Z-Man actually during this match he had missed the drop kick off the top rope that Eaton rolled him up and got the victory. This was almost like a babyface versus babyface because the fans were
Yeah.
cheering both ways, even though Eaton was supposed to come off as a heel but wasn't.
Z-Man was doing a lot of high flying spots too, though. He was very athletic.
Oh yeah, both of them
Yeah.
were. I actually liked this opening match. It was pretty good.
It wasn't
Bobby
bad to
Eaton
start off.
shows that he can be a singles
Yeah.
wrestler, and little Goldberg streak is over. So Z-Man's out. Bobby Eaton wins.
See ya.
The next match for the champions of the universe. This was actually the Pat O'Connor Memorial Tournament. You had the USA going into the 1 seed against the 8 seed South Africa. You had the 2 seed Japan versus 7 seed New Zealand. And I believe the Mexico was the 4 seed, and UK was the 5 seed, and then 3-6 was Russia and Canada. So those are the countries that you had going here. So you had the Steiner brothers versus Sergeant Kruger and Colonel de Klerk. I felt like I was watching what was that group? What's that group in the Attitude Era, man? We just did the review too. The You had the interrogator.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah. I
about.
know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. And now just the name
I feel
slipped
like
my
I'm
mind.
watching them. Yeah, I can't think
Right,
of the
right,
name right
right,
now.
right.
It'll come to me in a
The
minute.
berets, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Truth Commission. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
It just felt like I was watching that, and
Yeah,
I mean, this was a 2 minute, 12-second match. A Frankensteiner, you're out. Goodbye.
that's it. See
Steiners
ya.
are moving on. That's it. The next match after that was Rey Mysterio and Conan versus Norman Smiley and Gentleman Chris Adams, which the match wasn't really bad. 5.5 minutes. Mexican team wins here. However, both men were injured during this match, especially Conan. And Mysterio took a nasty fall going over the top rope
Hey, look,
during this one.
he
But
busted his ass, right?
yeah, yeah, it didn't look good,
He didn't look
and
good.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised they came back later on. Conan
yeah.
in the second round was
But like I
actually
said,
coming out
Conan.
limping,
Yeah, but he was already, like I said, he was already hurt before this. Coming into the
hmm
pay-per-view, he was already damaged.
and they knew they had to do this because in
Yeah,
WCW back then, it's you're not guaranteed to be here the day after.
yeah.
So they beat Norman Smiley and Chris Adams. So now Mexico will go on to face the U.S. in the second round. Our next match was Rip Morgan and Jacko Victory from New Zealand versus Mr. Saito and the Great Muda. Well, let's just say this was a lot better Starrcade for Muda than the year before
Right, yeah.
because he just got crushed in '89. And of course, Mr. Saito was known world around. He was also in the WWE at one point. We already know Muda and how he is.
Mm.
I was impressed by these guys, and obviously
They did a good job.
they're going to be in the finals
Mm.
or getting there. And 541 Saito and Muda get the victory over New Zealand. New Zealand's gone. Japan moving on. And the last match of the first round was Troy Montour and Danny Bull Johnson from Canada versus Victor Zangief and Salman Hashimov. Hashimov? Did I get it right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Salman and Victor. The Russian team. And this match to me was boring because just the way they won it was just a regular German style suplex that he held him down.
Yeah, one of them like messes up too. Like he drops the guy on his. One of the Russian guys drops one of the other guys on his head. I remember during the match.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like one of the first spots. It was like early on.
This wasn't a really good one.
Yeah.
But the USSR gets the victory over Canada, so they've moved on to face Japan in the next round.
And every time I heard that theme, man, all I thought about was Rocky Four.
Exactly.
Every time
You and me both.
the anthem, the Russian anthem, the Soviet anthem, I should say.
Yep. So now the first round's out of the way. So now we're going to get to some more matches strictly for WCW. One of them was Terry Taylor versus Michael Wall Street of the York Foundation, or Mike Rotunda.
This is when they have that whole computer thing that the computer analyzed that.
That day he could beat him in under 8 minutes 32 seconds.
Yeah, Miss York, aka
Terry Reynolds.
Terry Reynolds, yeah. Marlena.
Yeah, that's how I always see is Marlena. But yeah, the Alexander York and the York Foundation. Eventually, Terry Taylor would be the one going there, and Wall Street would be bounced out. So I thought that was funny. But in 6 minutes 52 seconds, Michael Wall Street beats Terry Taylor, and the computer didn't lie. I mean, obviously they just gave you the ending by saying, "Oh, well, the computer says you'll beat him in such and such time." well, obviously you're going to win.
Poor
And
Terry
unfortunately,
Taylor, man. Poor
I know.
Terry.
I was just going to say that this guy just can't catch a break anyway. Year before,
Wow.
he's over there doing the Red Rooster
Yeah,
thing.
came back and then it was just too late.
Now he's losing to
But
a washed up Mike Rotundo that they're looking to do something with him and can't really find that niche for him. But then eventually, shortly after this, he's gone. And then he's IRS for the next few
IRS, yeah.
years. The next
Then he
match
comes
after
back.
that,
He comes back as Mr. Wall Street, right? I think when he comes back,
yeah,
it's Mr.
and
Wall
then
Street.
VK Wall Street too.
VK Wall Street.
They couldn't figure it out with
Yeah.
him, unfortunately. I don't know. This next match was a laugher because this was literally 61 seconds. You had the Motor City Madman and Big Cat versus the Skyscrapers of Sid Vicious
Yep.
and Dan Spivey. Wow. I mean, this match was just, he actually needed the help on the power bomb.
Yeah, I don't
So
know
Spivey
why.
helped
You're
him.
trying to
I don't know either. He could have gotten him up.
Yeah, if you're trying to get Sid over though, why would you make him need help? I don't know. I don't get that.
I don't know. And why would you have to try to get Sid over? Sid's already over. He had the feud
Well,
with Sting earlier in the year. I mean,
I know what you're
all of a
saying.
sudden now they're going back to the tag team, which was funny because after this match, Heyman is interviewing him, and it's funny because he's looking at both of them playing the scared guy. They pick him up, so now they're eye to eye with him, and he's like, "Is this the reunion and the last time we'll see the Skyscrapers?" And of course, they say, "We'll do whatever we want, when we want, how we
Right.
want."
Yeah.
Which it really didn't make any sense why they went back to this gimmick when Sid was already in the singles competition and
Yeah.
established as the main eventer.
I actually forgot they got back together.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember they put these guys together after Mark Calloway left,
Right after he leaves.
and they add these two guys, but I didn't understand why they went back to it.
They went back, and then Sid leaves.
Exactly, yeah. So Sid's gone shortly after this.
So
But 1 minute, 1 second, they destroyed this. This match should have just been on Saturday night. Next match after that was Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton. Tommy Rich obviously subbing in for the injured Robert Gibson, who had major knee surgery earlier in the year, storyline by the Fabulous Freebirds. And that would be their opponents with Little Rich and Marley at ringside. And turns out that Little Rich and Marley would be the fallout for this match because he gets involved. He gets hit with the crutch by Robert Gibson. He falls down and hits Jimmy Garvin. Obviously, now this is where I don't get it because Michael Hayes sees this, but still blames Marley for them losing the match, and they're beating him down at the end of the match. And then what's funny is Rich and Morton leave the ring. They see them beating them down. They wait 30 seconds and then come back to the ring to save them, only to leave Robert Gibson alone where the Fabulous Freebirds can take him out. So I was like, okay, whatever. It was hard. I mean, they had to find something for Ricky Morton to do while his partner's out. And unfortunately, putting him into the York Foundation the following year and having him turn on his partner wasn't exactly something I would do to a legendary team like the Rock and Roll Express. So it is what it is. So now we're back to the tournament semifinals after this match. You had Rey Mysterio and Conan versus the Steiner brothers. And this match was actually pretty good. Rick Steiner powerbombed Mysterio after he came off the rope. Powerbombed him, got the pin under 3 minutes now. And I think they did that because these guys were hurt. So they got him out fast. Otherwise, I think this would have been a good match.
Yeah, match. They also just had to get that tournament over with.
Yes,
they couldn't really go too long.
I like the fact that they wanted to honor Pat O'Connor. I just didn't think the execution was
it sounded good on paper. It just
everything they do sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
But when you got Jim Herd, sort of calling the shots, it's not gonna go well. Our other match was Mr. Saito and the Great Muta versus Victor Zangief and Salman Hashmakov. And Saito got the pin on Zangief in this one. And this was another just a little over 3 minute match. So it's like to hurry up and get these done because they still got title matches to follow. So now you've got the U.S. and Japan in the finals, obviously. I knew that was coming.
World War II.
Yeah, seriously. Our next match was for the NWA WCW United States Championship, a rematch from Halloween Havoc. And this one is a Texas Lariat match. And for people that aren't familiar, you got the rope tied to each other's hands. You have to hit all four corners in order to win the match. And so this was Stan Hansen defending the title in a rematch against Lex Luger. And again, I thought this was hilarious because obviously here we go. Lex Luger hits three pillars, goes and hits the fourth. Randy Anderson gets knocked out. Now Nick Patrick
Yeah.
gets involved in this whole thing, and Hansen hits all four. Patrick decides he wants to ring the bell, but Anderson said he saw Luger
Right.
before
Yeah.
he went down, hit the fourth.
So they reverse it.
So they reversed the decision. Oh my God, Nick Patrick even before the NWO. So Lex Luger is once again the United
Yep.
States champion, and Stan Hansen reign is over. Thank you, Lord. I never got on his bandwagon. I never liked the guy. Only when he had his Japan matches against Vader. That was it.
Yeah. That was
Our next match was for the NWA WCW Tag Team Championship in a street fight. No rules, no nothing. Just blood and tears and bats.
I like the
And this
promo
was
that I like the promo they cut too. The Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson. That promo that he cut
Mhm.
right before the match was pretty good. It was intense. He was believable.
And what's funny about this match, because it's supposed to be Doom defending the titles against Arn Anderson and Ric Flair. Flair had a limousine incident to where he got a beat down at the hand that Teddy Long illustrated. So Barry Windham took his place in this match, and later on, everybody will know why. So it's Barry Windham and Arn Anderson going for the tag titles against Doom, and this match was just, I actually liked it because this was what they use in a Donnybrook. This match was great. They were using belts, everything. It was just they were all a bloody
Yeah,
mess
it was a good match.
in this match, except when Nick Patrick screwed it up. And I know you saw this. At the end of the match, Wyndham has him rolled up. He's looking at him. He's already got him pinned. Looks over, waits for Ron Simmons to pin Arn Anderson, and then does the 1, 2, 3 simultaneously. Why in the hell did they do that? You just ruined a good match by obviously showing us that, oh, okay, you got him pinned. Hold on. Oh, okay, you're ready now. I can do it. Stupid. Just plain stupid. A good match shot to hell. I'm sorry. And then the announcers can't figure out who won,
Yeah,
what's
what's going
going
on? Yeah.
on. I mean, seriously, man, this was an actual decent match on this card, and you ruined it with Nick Patrick and his shit.
Good
I'm
job.
sorry.
Great job.
Yeah, good job, Nick. And in any event, the next match was the tournament finals to find out who's the Universe champions, who's the International Tag Team champions, which never existed after this. It was the Steiner brothers, who are actually the current U.S. Tag Champions in this, versus Mr. Saito and the Great Muta. The match wasn't bad. Rick Steiner doing a sunset flip off the top rope on Saito was how they won it. Um, I liked the how Saito and Rick Steiner were matching power for power in the ring, and then of course Rick Steiner and the Great Muta had good chemistry in the ring. So this match wasn't bad, but obviously you know that the Steiner brothers were going to win this match, and they do, and they win the cup, and now they can defend the titles on Mars if they want to, because they're the Universe champions. They were given the 7-foot trophy by Jim Herd of all people, and so now they've won the Pat O'Connor Memorial Tournament, which I don't even think they did another one, to be honest, going forward.
I don't
I
remember.
don't think they did it.
I think it was kind of predictable.
It
But you had
was.
to.
If you look
Yeah.
at the tournament bracket and you
Yeah,
see
it
the
was pretty
Steiners
good.
on there, and
But you had to
they're the
go.
only team you recognize.
Well, not only know that they're the American team, so you gotta put
Of
them
course,
over.
the U.S. has to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It just would have been. It would have been better if you had more known wrestlers in this. It would have made
Yeah,
it more
but
interesting instead of bringing in guys you never even heard of.
yeah, that was Pizza Hut, man.
Exactly. And so our final match of the night would be for the NWA WCW World Heavyweight Championship inside a steel cage with Dick the Bruiser as the special guest referee. Sting versus the Black Scorpion.
Yeah, after all the build-up leading into this.
All the cheesy pyro and
Yeah.
stuff that wasn't working. And I don't know about you, but I couldn't see through that cage. It was so thick. The mesh fence was so thick
certain.
that they had to literally most of the time go to the aerial shot.
Yeah, they had the four Scorpions come out, and then this guy, there was
The little
that
spaceship comes
giant spaceship.
down, and of
Someone from
course,
Sting's past. He says that he was his tag team partner, not the Warrior,
Dangerous
not
Lee's
the Warrior.
getting. Would have been better if it was him.
Yeah, he was on.
You know, dangerously going, what the hell is this? Jim Ross, you want me to call mommy and daddy? You need some warm milk? What the hell?
Yeah,
He
they
goes,
were
no,
going
they're
at. That was
watching
funny
this in
though.
Scarsdale.
They were both going at. That was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. Of course, later on, we get that during the Invasion era.
Mm.
But, I mean, it wasn't a bad match. Flair, I will say, a Black Scorpion was Ric Flair. As if anybody couldn't tell through the mask. I mean, come on. He changed his repertoire in
He
the
did.
ring to where
Yeah, he did.
you knew it wasn't
Right,
Ric
right,
Flair.
right. Mm-hmm.
Like he wrestled a completely different
Different
match,
style. Yeah.
and it was good. The match was
Yeah.
good. I liked it.
I thought it was all right.
If you look at it and just think this is Sting and Flair, if you
Yeah.
think Sting and Black Scorpion, this is a shit fest.
Yeah.
And so Sting gets the victory, and here come the other Scorpions into the ring. The Bruisers getting into it with them. What made it more convincing that it was Flair was when Wyndham and Anderson showed up.
Right.
And
Yeah.
now they're beating the hell out of Sting.
Yeah.
And Ross is like, that's got to be another Horseman.
Right. Yeah. And then they're like, they're about to go off the air too.
Yeah, we got 1 minute. We got 2 minutes. We got 1 minute.
Well, they reveal who the Black Scorpion is, and the baby faces
like,
came out to help.
Yeah, Z-Man, Ricky Morton. We're trying to get into
the
Steiner brothers had the bolt cutters.
Well, they're the ones that came with the bolt cutters, yeah, to finally break in there.
Yeah, and what's funny is Wyndham's kind of holding the chain so they can get it because they couldn't quite get it. So I see him.
I was thinking, I hope he doesn't get his finger chopped off.
Yeah, seriously.
You
because that's Scott Steiner holding.
Yeah.
That boy's nuts.
Yeah.
And so the Flair's busted open under the mask. They finally take the mask off, and they don't even show you on camera, but you hear Jim Ross go, "Oh, that's Flair. Yeah. That's Ric Flair." But the camera never shows you him until he's on the ramp. Exactly. Again, the execution was crap. But if you look at the match, if you just judge this match on the merits of the match.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that because they had built up that storyline.
Yeah.
And for Flair to be the Black, I think I told the story on another review. Might have been Halloween Havoc. Like they didn't even know where they were going with that story.
No.
Like Ole just decided, oh yeah, Black Scorpion, but they didn't know where they were gonna go. And by the time they knew it, they were already involved in a storyline, and then they just.
What was bad around Halloween Havoc is, they have the screen up and the screen falls down and the Black Scorpion's got to hold it up, and it's like, what is this shit fest doing? What are you doing?
I mean, I don't think this was a good pay-per-view either. I thought it was.
I still say out of the three we reviewed here in a row, 88 still stands as the top one.
Yeah, which is not saying
maybe until
88 wasn't bad actually. 88 was all right. Yeah.
88 was good. Maybe Battle Bowl. I know that concept wasn't bad, so I know the next one we do is going to be decent because Battle Bowl was actually a good 91, concept. I liked it.
Yeah.
You have the random tag team partners. The winners go into the Battle Royal. Royal winner gets a ring and a number one contendership. So that's a pretty good doing for your. But this for WCW's version of a WrestleMania pay-per-view, this is your Big Daddy. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It was off camera for a second.
I think everybody gets it.
All right. Well, you guys let us know what you think. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.